Good evening, students. Subrajit, Sriya, Nitin, Vaishnavi, Kirtana. Good evening. Students.
Good evening, sir.
So, the last session, the previous sessions, we are discussing about mean calculation of mean deviation, how the values are scattered with respect to mean. Mean, median, or mode represents the central tendency, measure of the central tendency, and about the standard deviation or mean deviation is explaining about how the observations are scattered with respect to mean value. These are all the things we done. How to do the variance, what is the meaning of variance, and standard deviation, and mean deviation about mean and median. These are the four things, major things for us. Yeah, just I will recapitulate briefly. We left with a small concept, coefficient of variation. We left with a very small concept called coefficient of variation. Students will able to hear me properly? Is there any audio problems?
No, sir. It's clear.
Sir, it's lagging, sir.
It's lagging. For everyone, it's lagging. For only for you, man. Students, please respond. It's lagging for everyone. It's clear, Hamsini, Shida, Kirtana?
It's fine, sir. It's fine now.
Yeah. So the earlier sessions, if you observe the whole concept, the finding the mean is very important. So we started with what is the mean, median, and mode. So calculation of mean, median, mode we already done in grade 10 with the different methods. So here they won't bother about what are the methods you are doing. After this, we are starting about what is the meaning of deviation. Deviation, general English knowledge is enough to understand the deviation. Deviation means how much it is deviated with respect to actual value. Suppose if I am saying I designed a rocket and it is moving in this direction and I designed it like this, but if it is moving like this, there is a deviation. So how much deviated? So many ways you can explain the deviation. So later we started with the deviation and we calculated mean deviation about the median, and mean. About median and mean. Sorry, this is mean deviation about median and mean. So after this, what we discussed? To find exact, a little bit more clear measure of dispersion of the observation about its mean, we started with variance and standard deviation. Variance and standard deviation. So these are all the things we already completed. Based on that, some numericals also we done for raw data, for frequency distribution table, and everything. And today we are going to discuss about the analysis of the frequency distribution. So here we are doing very basic analysis. Analysis of frequency distributions. It's very simple to say. Here we are going to calculate CV of given data. What is the meaning of CV of given data? What is its use? That is only our scope of syllabus. CV means coefficient of variation. Coefficient of variance or coefficient of variation. Sorry, coefficient of variation. Per unit mean, how much it is varied. Per unit mean, how much it is varied. So the coefficient of variation of a given data CV will be equal to sigma divided by its mean into 100. First, this is how we will calculate the coefficient of variation. What is sigma here? Students, what is sigma here? What is sigma? CV is equal to what? Sigma is what? Students, please. Sigma is what? Students, please respond.
Standard deviation.
Standard deviation by mean into 100. So what is the purpose of coefficient of variation? It will be useful to compare two distributions. Suppose I am having two different distributions with the same mean. I am having two different distributions with the same mean. For example, I am having two different distributions. That means I am having data 1, data 2. And the data 2, suppose the data 1 mean is x bar, x1 bar, data 2 mean is x2 bar. But your x1 bar is equal to x2 bar is equal to x. But the observation of data 1 is different, the observation of data 2 is different, but both the means are same. So here the coefficient of variation will be useful for us to compare these two data. What we are going to compare here? Which is having more variation? Which is having more variation when compared to other? Suppose if I'm having two series, I can say it is series of two data, two different data. So comparing the variability of variability or dispersion, how the values are dispersed about mean. Dispersion of two series. Just we have to comparing the variability or dispersion of two series. And what we are going to do here, we are going to calculate the coefficient of variation for each series, which is having greater CV more variable. Suppose if I am having CV1 will represent first data coefficient of variation. CV2 represents second data or first series. Second series. What is the conclusion from this? The series which is having greater CV said to be more variable than the other. Simple. This is only the scope of our syllabus, which is having more variation of the mean, about the mean. So, how to calculate? We know CV is equal from the previous discussion, sigma by mean into 100. That's it. You know how to calculate the mean of the given data and how to calculate the standard deviation of the given data. How to calculate the standard deviation. Is it clear, students? Yeah, we'll start with one question. They won't ask the questions like this. Sometimes if it is an essay question, because of the MCQs, don't expect they will use series and they will ask us to come calculate the CV values. The questions will be like this with respect to these things for 1 mark or 2 mark. So this is the data. Two plants, there are two industries. Two plants, A and B, of a factory shows the following results. shows the following results about the number of workers, about the number of workers and the wages paid to them. So number of workers, plant A, plant B. In plant A there are 5,000 people. In plant B there are 6,000 people. And if I am taking the average monthly wages, average monthly wages, it is 2,500 rupees, and here also 2,500 rupees. If you observe in this data, the mean of both the series are same. There are 5,000 observations. The mean of the 5,000 observations are 2,500, and there are 6,000 observations in plant B, and the mean of the 6,000 observations also 2,500 only. When it talks about the other data is also given, variance of distribution of wages. This is 81 and this is 100. Its variance is different. You already know what is the meaning of variance. Now the question is, in which plant? This is a given data, and the question is, in which plant? In which plant A or B is there greater variability in individual wages? Now this is the data. Understanding the given data is a major part here. Once you understand the given data, is nothing. He's asking which is having more variability. What is the discussion? In previous slide we discussed how to calculate the more variability, which is having more CV value. So how to calculate the CV value? So we have to calculate the CV for A. CV for A is sigma A by XA into 100. CVB is sigma B by XB into 100. So, but they gave the sigma square value. They gave the sigma square value. So, calculate the sigma value. How to calculate the sigma value? Sigma A square is equal to 81. From here, sigma A is equal to 9. Sigma B square is equal to 100. Sigma B is equal to 10. Sigma B is equal to 10. So from here, coefficient of variation for plant A, CV for A is equal to the average of average monthly wages. What is the average monthly wages, students? 2,500 into 100. So CV for B is equal to the average monthly wages 10 by 2,500 into 100. 100 cancel. This is 25, 0.4 times. 100 cancel, or you can keep 9 by 25. This is 10 by 25. So the denominators are same and numerator is less. So in this case, which is having bigger value?
10 by 25.
Sorry, 10 by 25 is bigger value. Correct? Then I can say which is having more standard deviation. So if without calculating CV, how I can say? If both the means are same, the CVA is equal to sigma 1 by x bar into 100. CVD equals sigma 2 by x bar into 100 because x bar is the mean of the data. I can say which is having more deviation, more variance. Correct? I can say like this, guys. Which is having greater standard deviation, which is having more standard deviation will have more variability. What is the conclusion answer for this question? Plant B is having plant B as greater variability. Plant B is having greater variability. Hope you are clear what I done here. Students, are you clear? Shall I go for the one more question? Students, please respond.
Sir, can you 1 minute scroll up?
So, in case of MCQs, if they are not giving CV values or if they are giving just with the help of the variance without calculation of the CV, you can able to explain which is having more variability, which is having more standard deviation, or which is having more variance is having more variability. Understood, guys? Without calculating, how to do for MCQs? Students, please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, but then if the mean is not same,
If mean is not same, what is the variability says? If mean is not same, what I told? If mean is not same, what you have to do? Previous slide. What I told you. What is the purpose of the CV? If mean is not same, what is the purpose of the CV? Calculate the CV of both the series and which is having more CV value, having the more variability. Got it? What I'm saying? So we'll go one more question with that. Okay?
okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. The next one is to compare the variability we have to do calculate. We have to calculate their CV. Given variance of height. What is the meaning of variance, students? Sigma or sigma square? 127.69 centimeter. So standard deviation is equal to square root of variance 127.69, which is giving approximately 11.3 centimeter. After this session, I will explain you how to calculate the square roots. And variance of weight. The variance of weight will be equal to 23.1361 kg. So from here, standard deviation of weight will be equal to root of 23.1361, which is giving approximately 4.81 kg. So which is having more variation. So we have to calculate the CV of height. CV of height will be equal to standard deviation by mean into 100. What is the standard deviation here? In terms of height, 11.3 by mean of the data is given as, for mean of the heights is 162.6 into 100. So what is the answer you will get? Coefficient of variation of the heights will be how much you will get approximately, students? You will get approximately 6.95. Same as coefficient of variation of weights also you calculate. Standard deviation of weight by mean of weight. I will give the mean of the weight. The mean of the weight is 52.36. 4.81 by 52.36 into 100. Calculate this value.
Sir, 9.18.
Yeah, students, what is the coefficient of weights? CV weight.
9.81.
So which is having more variation in this case?
CV of 8.
Yeah, C of weight is having more coefficient of variation. So we can say weight shows more variability with respect to heights. Understood what is on? So weight is having more variability here. The weight distribution is having more variability. That's it. So this is only the concept related to comparing the two distributions. Yeah. So we are almost at the end of, not almost, we completed the term one portions. Only the few numericals you have to practice. If you are having any doubts, you just let me know. If they are giving frequency distribution table also, what you have to do, they will give the two data. They will give the two data. So you have to calculate the variance and mean of both the data and find the coefficient of variation of both the data. And just you have to check which is having more variation. So however, whatever the method you are using, your wish. Suppose if both is having same means, without calculation of CV values, with the help of the variance or standard deviation, you can able to tell which is having more variability. So which is having more standard deviation or which is having more variance, that data is having more variability. Because sigma by x into 100, that 100 by x is common in both. So depends upon sigma value will decide which is having more variability if mean is same. Understood, students? Shall I go for the how to calculate the square roots of some numbers in easiest manner?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I am having two methods. One is our general school long division method. Another one is binomial theorem. Binomial coefficients for less than 1 plus x. Here I am using the formula of 1 plus x whole power. Anyone can able to remember 1 plus x whole power 1 by 2 distribution? Any idea? If x is less than 1, actually 1 plus x whole power 1 by 2 distribution is, it's an infinite series. You will get 1 plus x by 2. This is very approximate value. Minus x square by 8 plus x cube by 16 minus and so on. And this formula is valid if x is very small. If x is very small. For example, if I am taking root of 648, how I can say by seeing the number, it doesn't have any perfect square? Students, anyone thought how I can say by seeing the number, this number doesn't have any perfect square? How you can say?
There is no number whose square has an unit digit of 8.
So, yeah, so that is very simple. That's a general concept only. 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, 5 square is 25, 6 square is 36, 7 square is 49, 8 square is 64, 9 square is 81, 10 square is 100. If you write any number, 3 digit, 4 digit, 5 digit or 6 digit or anything, it will end with either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Correct? Will you agree? Students, you take any number. The numbers are ending with what kind of digits? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Correct? But if I am taking the squares of the first to 10, I am getting the ending number is either 0, 1, there is no number ending with 2, there is no number ending with 3, 4 is there, 5 is there, 6 is there, 7 is not there, 8 is also not there, 9 is there. Anything I missed, students? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If any numbers are ending with these numbers, compulsory straight away without calculation, you can say it doesn't have any perfect square. It is not a perfect square. If any number is ending with these numbers, straight away without any hesitation, you can say there is no perfect square for these numbers. The number is ending with either 2, 3, 7, 8, doesn't have any perfect square. Doesn't have any perfect square. Will you agree? Now, students,
Yes,
got
sir.
it? Now, so how to calculate this with the help of this formula? It's very simple. Take the nearest perfect square. Nearest perfect square is 625. 625 plus how much? 23. I'm taking 625 common. 625 1 plus 23 by 625 under the root. This will be 25 root of 1 plus 23 by 625. 23 by 625 is very small. 23 by 625 is very small. So where I can apply this formula here? If x is very small, x square is almost 0. So if I am applying this formula, 25 1 plus 23 by 625 whole power 1 by 2 will be equal to 25 into 1 plus x by 2. What is the x value here? Your x is 23 by 625. 25 into 1 plus 23 by 2 into 625. This will be 25 plus 23 by 50 or 25 plus 46 by 100. So the answer is 25.46 approximately. Anyone can calculate and let me know whether you are getting the same answer or not. This is one of the easiest method.
Yes, sir, it's coming.
Now, sir, how I can do this much of long process? Is there any possibility I can reduce the calculation? Yes. Simple. Root of 648 we take it, correct? This can be written as nearest to perfect square, 625 plus 23. So this is 25 square plus 23. So the answer is 25 plus 23 by 2 into 25. 25 plus 23 by 50, that is 25 plus, now it's easy, 46 by 100. So the answer is 25.46. Is it clear what I done? Students, is it clear? Shall I go for some other question, some other square root with the help of this method, whether I can calculate approximate value or not?
Yes, sir.
Now, let's see if I'm taking a perfect square, which is already perfect square, whether this will work or not. 528. 528 is not a perfect square. Will you agree? Why it is not a perfect square? By seeing the number, how I can say?
It is ending with 8.
Super. It is ending with 8. The number ending with 2, 3, 7 and 8. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is the 528 nearest perfect square? 14 square 196, 15 square 225, 20 square 400. What is the 24 square? 25 square is 625. 23 square? 23 square. What is the value of 23 square?
529.
Sorry?
529.
529. So this can be written as, how much I can write this one? 23 square minus 1. Will you agree?
Yes, sir.
Simple now. This will be 23 square plus minus 1. So just 23 plus minus 1 by 2 into 23. That's it. I am applying the same formula. 1 plus 1, x by 2 minus x square by 8 plus x cube by 16 minus and so on. 23 by 1 by 23 is very small. So x square and x cube is almost same. So 1 plus x by 2 formula I am using here. So this will be 23 minus 1 by 46. So 1 by 46, approximate value you have to calculate. How much? 46. How many times? Into 100 by 100, then I will get 2 decimals is enough. 46 2 times 92. 80. 2.46 2 times 92. 46 1 time 46. This will be 34. So 34 is not enough. 0 and 0. 46 how many times? 46 4 times.
0.02.
0.02. 2.0. 2.1. No, not 2. 46 3 up. 4 5. 40 5 5 is 250. 50 how many times? 56 300. 57 350. 46 sevens 322 plus 46 8. So 46 sevens. So 107. This is 23 minus 0.02107. This is your answer. Little approximate. Got it? Students, how to calculate? How you will get 22.98 up approximately if I am rounding off to 2 decimals?
Yes, sir.
Suppose if the same question, if I want to do using the long division method, how to do? If I want to do long division method, how to do? I will start with the perfect squares and I will come back to 528, how to do the long division method up to 2 decimals. It's very simple, you have to remember, but you have to be little strong with your calculations. Multiplications should be very strong, little bit quick but it is long. MCQs and all, it is little longer method. So I'm taking 4 digits first. 2304. Whether it is a perfect square or not? Yes, it is a perfect square. Because ending with 4 almost might be chances. I'm taking 50 square is 2500, 20 square is 400, 200, sorry, 40 square is 1600, 50 square is 2500. So it is nearer to 50 square. Between 40 and 50, the number is ending with 4 is either 42, either 48. So 48 nearer to 50, so I'm trying with 48. 48 into 48 is 'its answer is 48, but I don't know. So how to do the long division method? When I'm doing the long division method, from right side to left side, just take the pair, 2 numbers pair you have to take. If it is 3 digits, suppose if I'm taking 3 digits, you will get the pairs like this. 28 is one pair, 5 is one pair. That we will see in the next example. So first pair. What is the number of the first pair? Guys, I need one volunteer to understand very easiest way. Anyone? Raghav, can you help me?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. What is the 23? What is the nearest perfect square for 23?
16.
16. So you have to start with 16. So 4 square is 16. So here 4, here also 4. 16. Now subtract. Subtraction will use how much?
7.
So now you bring this pair together. You should not bring one number. You have to bring the total pair. Now this is 4 and this is 4. Add both the things. How much you will get here?
8.
8. And check 81 into 1 or 82 into 2 or 83 into 3 or 84 into 4. Like that, you have to multiply and check which number is nearest to that. 80 tens is 100. 80, 89 9.
8, sir.
88 eights. Because 88 eights. So 88. So 8 here also 8, here also 8. 704. So what are the number you are getting? This is the 48 square is equal to 2304. I can go for one more number. Students, first we will start with the known numbers. Then it will be easy to do with the decimals, imperfect squares. I can go with one more number. Students, I am taking 12 square. That is 144. It's a 3-digit number. First pair, second pair. What is the nearest perfect square for 1? 1, correct? 1 square is equal to 1. So 1 here, 1 here. So 1, 0. I have to take this pair, 44. Next, 1 plus 1 is 2. So 21 into 1, 22 into 2, 23 into 3. Which pair is nearest to this? 22. 2, 2. So 22 into 2 is 44. So the remainder is 0, you can stop. So 12 square is equal to 144. Understood, students? What is the long division method? How to do using the long division method?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I am taking 729. Now you can try. You people can try 729. 729. Ending with 9. More chances are there for the perfect square. Ending with 9. 729. 80 into 80 is 30 into 30 is 900. So 27 into 27. అన్నా మేడం క్యాబ్ లో బయలుదేరారు, వాళ్ళకి రూట్ అర్థం కాకుండా పొన్నమలై సైడ్ వెళ్ళారు. మేడం ఒక మేడం ఉందని చెప్పాను కదా, వాళ్ళు బయలుదేరారు, వాళ్ళకి అర్థం కాక పొన్నమలై సైడ్ వెళ్ళారు. నాకు ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు గూడూరులో ఉన్నావు కదా, లొకేషన్ షేర్ చేయవా? నేను వాళ్ళకి షేర్ చేస్తాను, మ్యాప్ పెట్టుకొని వస్తారు. పర్లేదు కదా, వాళ్ళు ముందు బైపాస్ లోకి వస్తారు కదా. అర్జెంట్గా షేర్ చేయి, లొకేషన్ షేర్ చేయాలి నాకు. Students, anyone got the answer?
27.
Sorry? 27. So what is our rule? You have to pair up the numbers. 29 is one pair, 7 is one pair, one set. So nearest perfect square for 7 is what? 2 square. 2 2s are 4. So 329. 2 into 2 is 4. So 41 into 1, like this, 43 into 3 or 47 into 7. చెప్పన్నా, అక్కడ వర్షాలు ఉన్నాయని చెప్పి ఈరోజు నైట్ బయలుదేరారు. నాకు మామూలు టెన్షన్ పెట్టలేదన్నా, నేను ఇంకా ఏం కాదు, నన్ను గట్టిగా టెన్షన్ పెట్టారు. చేసేది ఏం లేదు ఇంకా. సరే, వాళ్ళు అర్థం చేసుకోలేనా? నేను చెప్పింది అర్థం చేసుకున్నా. ఫస్ట్ మనకి కొత్తగా కాబట్టి ఏం లేదు, వాళ్ళు కొంచెం టెన్షన్ అవుతున్నారు, అందులోనే ఏజ్డ్ కదా, వాళ్ళు కార్లో వస్తున్నారు. అది నేను చూసుకుంటాను, నేను వెళ్తాను కదా నైట్కి, నేను వాళ్ళతో మీట్ అయ్యి తీసుకెళ్తాను కాబట్టి కొంచెం ఫోన్ ఎత్తి రేపు ఒక్కరోజు నాకు, కొంచెం ఫోన్ ఎత్తి చాలు నాకు రేపు. Yeah, students, I think you are clear what I done here. Sorry students. Yeah. 47 into 7. You should not take a 47 into of any other number. Whatever the number you are writing here, with that number only you have to copy here and you have to multiply 47 into 7. Suppose if I am writing 6 here, 46 into 6. If I am writing 1 here, 41 into 1. So shall I go for one more question? Because we done with imperfect squares. 520 is an imperfect square. We got approximate value of 528, or sorry, if we go with a little bit, 648 is imperfect square. 648, we got 25.46. Let's see. 648 we will try. Same 648.0000112, but after decimal again 2. Don't take 3 decimals, take either 2 decimals or 4 or 6, because 1 by 10, 1 by 100 is a perfect square, 1 by 1000 is not a perfect square, but 1 by 10,000 is a perfect square. That is the logic behind this. So now same method, the process won't change. I'm going to starting with nearest perfect square, 2, 2. So 4. This will be 2. This whole pair will come as 248. 2 plus 2 is 4. So 41 into 1, 42 into 2, 45 into 5. Which is nearest one, students? 45 into 5 is how much? 46 into 6. Which is nearest one? 45 into 5 is 250 or 225. 46 into 6?
276.
276. So definitely we don't have option. We have to take only 45 into 5. Correct? 45. This is 5. So this will be how much? 225. 225. Subtraction, how much you will get? 23. So you bring this set again. 0, 0. So now 45. How many times? What is the next step, students?
Sir, we have to add 45 and 5.
Correct. 50. So how many times you have to take? 50. 501 into 1, 501 into 502 into 2, 503 into 3, 504 into 4. Because 505 into 5 is how much you are getting?
2525.
So 2525, which is greater than this value. So definitely we don't have any option. So if I'm taking 505 into 5, I am getting 2505. So 2525. But 504 into 4, I am getting 2016. So I have to go for 504 into 4. So after decimal I am taking, so decimal. So how much I am getting? 2016. So what is the answer you are getting? What is the answer you are getting, students? What is the subtraction value, please? You subtract what you are getting.
2.84.
No point. Already you decimal 282. Correct?
84.
284.
So 504 plus 4. How much? 508. So now again same procedure. 5083 or something. 5081 into 1, 5082 into 2, 5083 into 3. Like this, 6 times only 30,000. 5083 into 5, 85 into 5. 5085 into 5. So 2,500, 25,000. 5,000 into 5 is 25,000. 585, 425. 5, 2, 4, 5, 2. 254, 25. What about 5086 into 6? It's going 30,000 plus, correct? Am I right? 5086 into 6 is 30,000 plus because 5,000s are 30,000. So this is 5085 and here also 5 and you will get 254, 25. What are the value you are getting doesn't matter because I am doing up to 2 decimals. So 25.45. Previously, how much we got approximately rounding off? 25.46 now. Students? Got it? What I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So understood how to calculate the square roots. But my best suggestion is go for the binomial theorem method. Binomial coefficient for smaller numbers. I felt it is easy and a little bit more. It's not more accurate like this, but it will be easier and easiest way you can able to find out the perfect squares of the numbers. Just suppose if I am taking a number 518. 518. 518 is not a perfect square. That clearly shows 518 is not a perfect square. 518. So this can be written as, what is the nearest perfect square? Students? Nearest perfect square is how much? 20 square is 400. 21 square is how much?
481.
481. Huh? 22 squares? 484. No. 21. 42.
21 into 21, 441.
22 square? 484. 23 square?
529.
529. So which number I have to take?
484. That's 22.
Minus how much? 2 plus 8 now. This is 529 minus how to write? 529 minus.
Sir, I have a doubt here, sir.
Yes.
Sir, here we are subtracting, right? So we can also can we add it like 484 plus and then do apply binomial theorem?
See, that also you will get. But I am saying x is as possible as minimum you have to take. Because you are rounding up now, you are not taking the entire series, you are taking only first 2 terms of the series. Least value of x you have to take. Least possible value of the x you have to take. That's the reason I told you nearest perfect square you have to take here. The nearest perfect square is what? 23 square or 22 square?
23.
So automatically you have to take nearest perfect square.
Okay, sir.
Got it what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can take 484 plus also you can take, but that is not accurate like this. We'll do that one also. Let's see what is the difference. So 529 minus 9, correct? This is 23 square minus 9. So what is the answer? 23 minus 9 by 2 into 23. So 23 minus 9 by 2 into 23 is 46. So you will get one answer. What is the answer you will get? 23 minus 9 by 46 approximately. You will get approximately 22.804. To take 22.804 into 22.804, I'm getting answer is 520. I'm getting answer is 520 if I'm taking the square root of that one. Now, if I'm taking 484, what will happen? If I'm taking 484, what is my answer? 484 plus how much? 18 plus 16. 34. This will be 23 plus 34 by 46. This is a little bit big value. So 34 divided by 46 is, I'm getting 22.739. Even if I'm rounding up 22.74. 22.74 into 22.74. Here I am getting 517.10. So both are a little bit accurate, but always according to that calculation, like that series, you have to take the least possible x value. Least possible x value. Might be here both are coming almost same, but you have to consider least possible x value. But if I am rounding off to single decimal, both you will get 22.8, 22.8. So you don't hesitate to take any value, but try to take nearest x value. Sorry, nearest perfect square. Understood, guys? So please go through some more questions and practice for the daily practice test and upcoming exams. If you are having any doubt, please send the messages to institute, that contact number, and they will arrange a class before examinations for any doubts, or if you want still one more class regarding of statistics, any other particular questions, just let me know. And after exams, we will have a paper discussions. So shall I close the session? We'll meet in the next session, students.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir.
Any doubts? So all the best for your examinations. I will be here whenever you want. You just contact me through the institute. They will arrange a session. That doesn't matter. Please practice. And any doubts, you just send a message to institute. They will arrange a session. Other than examination sessions or other than doubts clarification, extra sessions also they will provide you. Don't worry. You just let me know what other thing you want. Yeah. We'll meet in next session. Bye, everyone.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, I have a doubt in one of the sum of NCERT, sir. Can we do it in upcoming classes, sir?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, please.
Sir, moreover, our exam is starting from 19th, sir.
This month 19th.
Yes, sir.
If school or here?
School term 1 exam, sir.
Term 1 exams. Yeah. I will talk to Raghava sir. Based on that, they will plan the examination series here also. Okay.
Okay.
Sir, now we are already having test series, sir.
No, I think he needs, he's expecting full portion test started, Hamsini.
Sir, not full portions yet, sir. We are writing like 2 to 3 lessons together, sir. Today
Yeah,
also we are having test in maths.
So next class onwards, the papers discussions will happen. There we will discuss what are the doubts we are having. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, we'll meet in next class. Yes.
Sir, we didn't do the exercise problems from statistics, few sums.
That's all I'm saying. I gave some example numericals. You try exercise numericals, still you are having the doubts, we'll have a session. Not a problem. Got it? Just go through the questions based on our example questions, what we done in class. Still we are having a doubt, we can have a session. That doesn't matter. Yeah. Anything else? Shall I close the session?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.